Hey, this is Dr. Jin Sung, and welcome back to our Tuesday show. It's 12:30, and I'd like to thank everybody who shared the video last week. We had a good response. We had about 13,000 views. It's fantastic. I encourage you to share and like the page so you can get the continuing information about liver detoxification. So last week we talked about phase 1 detox for the liver, and today we're going to talk about phase 2. So if you want to know more about phase 1, please go back to the previous week and review that video. So when we look at detoxification, we go from phase 1, where we're taking fat-soluble toxins and being able to break them down to smaller components into phase 2. What happens though is when you're going from phase 1 to phase 2, if phase 2 of liver detoxification is not working correctly, you can have a buildup of intermediary toxins. This is very important because if you have buildup of intermediary toxins that you took from fat-soluble toxins and you broke it down into the intermediary through phase 1, if phase 2 portion of your liver detoxification is not working correctly, you can have buildup of these toxins, and that can actually be worse than the original fat-soluble toxins. So if you have a buildup of these intermediary things, you can actually develop something called multiple chemical sensitivity, or MCS. So those are the people who smell a little bit of perfume or gasoline fume, and they get a splitting headache and they just don't feel well. Things like paint fumes can throw them into a spiral. We talked about people who drink caffeine and they're poor detoxifiers. So multiple chemical sensitivity can be a problem when you have poor phase 2 detoxification. So basically you have phase 1 pushing through and trying to clear out the toxins, and then in the middle it gets stuck. So if you think about, let's say, chickens or a farm where they lay eggs and they're processing all these eggs, you can come down and it's dropped down and has to be processed and put into containers and so forth. But if that machinery right here in phase 2 is not able to take the eggs and process it through, you're going to have chaos in the middle. You're just going to have broken eggs and you're going to have issues, right, and build up, right? So you need phase 2 to work correctly in order to work in terms of the liver detoxifications. So people who have poor phase 2 detoxifications can be called pathological detoxifiers. They're not able to detoxify very well, and it's very important to do that. In order to help phase 2 detoxification, there are multiple processes. Actually, there's about 6 processes that need to occur. They're called sulfation, glucuronidation, glutathione conjugation, acetylation, amino acid conjugation, and methylation. So if you look at these 6 different things, you need a bunch of different processes to occur to take those intermediary toxins and get it out into the gallbladder and kidneys for excretion, right? So a lot of these intermediary toxins that builds up between phase 1 and phase 2, they're kind of wrapped up by cholesterol. So it kind of protects your body and tries to get it excreted out into your stool. Some of the important foods for liver detoxification for phase 2 are things like asparagus, avocado, cabbage, broccoli, citrus peel, turnips, watermelon, and obviously the fresh fruits and vegetables. So those are important foods for phase 2 detoxification. But in terms of nutrition, we want to look at methyl donors. So methyl donors are very important. B vitamins, methylated B vitamins, trimethylglycine, SAMe, and some other things that are very important for phase 2 detoxification. You're going to also need magnesium, obviously the broad spectrum of B vitamins. If you have genetic defects, you might need methylated forms of B vitamins. Methionine is very important. Choline is also important. Glutathione, very important. Alpha ketoglutarate, and NAC, or N-acetylcysteine, acetyl L-carnitine. These are all nutrients that are very important for the detoxification. So rather than say like you have to go out and get all these supplements, there are a lot of nutrition companies, reputable ones, that do that for you. So they take you from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3, which is kind of the gallbladder that helps emulsify things and get things out. There's companies that do that. Good companies like Designs for Health, Metagenics, Numedica, Pure Encapsulations. There are a lot of these good companies that are basically physician-based, because they want to ensure the quality, and they want to ensure that the patient is getting the proper nutrients and not just, basically giving it all away. You want to be able to say, does this patient need detoxification, and which phase are they deficient? I tend to use a company called Apex Energetics. It works well for me, and again, there's a lot of other different companies that I just mentioned, but it's very important to do that. So in our office, what we do is we do a 3-week liver detoxification. So in the first few days, we're trying to get the body prepped, and in the second week, we try to get the liver to really flush out and detox, and then we calm down in the 3rd week. This process of kind of titrating up, pyramiding across, and plateauing, and then pyramiding down is important because we don't want to overstress the body also. So detoxification should be done slowly over time. Now, this is a nutrient-dense liver detoxification. It's not a detox where you're trying to flush the liver or flush the gallbladder. It's not those types of things. It's a very nutrient-dense. We're trying to support the metabolic pathways for phase 1, phase 2, and as well as the gallbladder for it to work correctly. So let me just show you the product. So we have 2 products here. This is this one right here. It's called Clear Vibe. It's a chocolate flavor one with cocoa powder. It's got natural things in there. It's got a pea-based protein because you also need protein to detoxify well. So it's a broad spectrum. So it gets you through your phase 1, phase 2 liver detoxification without having to go and worry about, oh, am I getting enough methyl donors? Or am I getting enough precursors for glutathione? Or am I getting enough acetyl L-carnitine? So you got to make sure you have all your bases covered. So, and this is another product called Hepatosynergy, and that takes you through the liver detoxification. So you typically need 2 of these protein powder mixes with all the broad spectrum, as well as a container of this. So you basically need 3 of those things in order to get you through phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 of liver detoxification in a nutrient-dense way rather than like a liver flush or a liver gallbladder flush. It's much safer. If you're going to do those flushes, you got to be very careful. You want to probably do it with the advice of a physician. So it's a 3-week program to do the liver detoxification, and for some people it can be a miraculous change. Before I do liver detoxification, I usually like to do some gut repair protocols, so re-inoculating the gut, getting rid of pathogens and so forth, and then gently going into a liver detoxification. So if we look at how we do this, we usually do between a 2 and a 4-week protocol for gut healing with probiotics and all the things that help heal the gut, and then we go do another 3 weeks of liver detoxification. So it may take you anywhere between 5 to 7 weeks to get through a liver and a GI restorative program. So it's very important to do all aspects of these things. And also you got to look at the patient as an individual, because most patients who do come to see us have multiple health issues. They have autoimmune disease like thyroid problems or Hashimoto thyroiditis, or they're on maybe 6 or 7 different medications that need to be co-managed with their medical doctor because these medications can interfere in terms of true healing. So we want to get the patient to their medical doctor so they can actually maybe look at the medication and pare down the medication to the essentials that they need, so that the liver is not so stressed during liver detoxification. Because at the end of the day, we're full of hormones and toxins and those types of things because of the environment that we live in. It's hard to avoid. It's difficult to say I am completely clean of all toxins and metals and electromagnetic frequencies and you name it, chemicals from carpet, etc. That can be vapored off. So you have to look at everything, and everyone should go through a liver detoxification protocol, even though they do feel healthy, only because the environment dictates it. We need to be able to clear out the hormones and toxins out of our body to truly be healthy. All right. So I'd like to thank everyone again for watching last week's video. Go ahead, and we're probably in week 15, I think now, or 16, and we're adding in new content every week. So next week we would like to go ahead and probably talk about different dietary programs, but I would like to talk about fats, the utilization of good fats to help improve health. So I look forward to seeing everyone next week, and we'll see you on the healthy side. All right? Have a great week.